Hey everyone! Today we are going to do a perspective drawing picture. And so what that means is that it's going to look like it's three-dimensional. And so some tips before we get started is that we're going to do this thing. It's called like a focal point. And then when you look at something and it's far away, usually it's smaller, and things that are right next to us are bigger. So we need to remember that when we are drawing, okay? So I'm excited to do this. It looks really cool when it's finished. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is you need to pick a spot on your picture where you want the focal point to be. So we're gonna make like a sea aquarium picture. And this is like for the older kids that need something a little more challenging. So what you're going to do is in like the middle of my picture, wherever I think the middle is, I'm going to just put a dot. And I decided to actually go a little above the middle. So my dot is right there. So now what you're going to do is I'm going to do this upside down so you guys can kind of see while I draw, hopefully. So what you're going to do is match your dot up with the corner of your picture with a ruler, and you're going to draw a line. Just like that. Right to the corner. And you're going to do that to every single corner. Matched up with my dot. Straight to the corner. And then the same up on top. Okay, so that is my picture. Straight from the corner to the dot that you drew. So, our next part is, okay, so the next part, so remember my picture's kind of like upside down, and I know it's hard to see, it's really hard to videotape. So the next part is on these side triangles, so this one and this one, these are going to be like our walls. So we're going to draw straight up and down lines like this across our picture. So you can do this on smaller paper. It really doesn't matter what size of paper you use. Remember, always draw on pencil first, because that way you can erase the lines. So I'm just drawing the lines like that from this spot straight down. They don't have to be perfectly straight because it is going to work out either way, no matter what. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Try to kind of have a match up. I drew 3 lines over here, so I'm going to want to draw, well, this side's a little longer, I guess, so it doesn't matter. But you don't want to have like 3 on one side and then like 7 on the other. So they kind of, I have 1 extra one on this side, but that's okay. So the next part is, so these are my sides. This is going to be my floor facing you guys. And then this is going to be my ceiling. And we want our ceiling to be kind of like arched. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to do it the best I can. I'm going to do it like this, and then hopefully you can see. So you're going to draw like a curved line to connect those two. See, I drew a curved line, so then you're going to do it from this one. You're going to draw a curved line to that one, and then one to this one. And it's going to go off your page a little bit, but that is okay. That'll just make it look more realistic. So there, I went off my page, and I'm going to go over here and just draw a little curved line up. So that is our ceiling up there, the top of our aquarium. So now this is the floor. This part is really cool, I think. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our ruler, and we're just going to draw lines that go out. So, let's see if I can hold it up and show you. You're going to start at the dot, and you're going to draw like curved, not curved, but like lines out to fill in this section. And you're going to be able to see this more when I do it in marker. So what you're going to do is just put your ruler at the circle again, wherever you want to. And you're just going to draw a straight line out. See, I'm just adding a line to the bottom. You can draw as many as you want to. See, I'm keeping my ruler on my dot and just moving my ruler out. Like that. So that is the start of our floor. Okay, so the next part is to draw the tiles. We're just going to go like this and draw straight across. And they can be just as like straight as you think you can get them, honestly, because it will take way too much time to measure the entire paper out to do this. And like I said, this is kind of complicated, but for some of the older kids that are on here, I think it would be great, and you get to use a ruler. And you know what? If you mess up, it doesn't really matter. At least you tried, right? So I just drew straight lines all the way across with my ruler. So I just started here and then moved it down, and then moved it down, then moved it down, then moved it down. So as you can see, this is going to be like our far away. So you're looking, and this is like down the hall. And so as you see, those are like smaller, and then they get bigger and bigger and more square. So that's kind of like our perspective painting. So the next part that we're going to do is you're going to take like a Sharpie marker or a black marker, or you can use a crayon, colored pencil, whatever you want, and you're going to trace all of your lines, okay? Okay, so now that I have all the lines traced, the next part is I'm going to use watercolors, and we're going to paint this side, and the top blue. So these are my watercolors. You can use your regular watercolors. I just don't have any. These are the only kind I have. So I'm going to dip my paintbrush in my water. Get my water or my paint nice and wet, and I'm gonna start here and just start painting. You can use whatever color blue, and you wouldn't have to use watercolor. You can use anything. You can use crayons, you can use acrylic paint, you can use washable paint, you can use colored pencils, markers, whatever you want. I just like watercolor a lot because it's fast And it's fun because you get like different, depending on how much water you use, you get like different colors of blues in there. And then I also like it because when this is dry, I'm going to use crayons to color over it. So that's something cool with watercolor. You can use a bunch of different other kinds of materials to go over the top with. Like I've done paintings and I've put acrylic paint over watercolor or Sharpie markers. Pretty much anything goes over the top, honestly. So there's the one side. Now I'm going to paint the top with the like curved lines. And you know, this would be a great project to do with your parents too. Kind of like building your own aquarium. But remember, if you're going to use watercolor and you're using it on regular paper, don't get it too wet because it gets crumply and it could break. Okay, so there's my top part, and now I'm going to do my last side. Alright, so there is our water for our underwater aquarium. Alright, so the next part, I'm just going to put my watercolors aside. So the next part is totally up to you. You can use whatever colors you want for this. Remember, my picture is upside down for me, and it's up for you. So now we have to do the tiles in the aquarium. So this has to be a pattern, otherwise you're not going to get the 3D effect. So I'm just going to use a black Sharpie marker to color it in. You can use whatever. You can use crayons. You can use whatever color you want to also. But I'm just going to use my Sharpie marker because I want you guys to be able to see it. So if I choose to color this one, color this one in, then I'm going to skip the next one, color this one, and we're making our pattern. Skip the next one, color this one. Okay, so then since I colored this one, the bottom one has to be white. And if this is white, this one's going to be black. So you're doing your A-B patterns. Now I just like to say every other. So it's going to be kind of like a checkered board. And I would do this after you paint or you use marker or whatever, because then your top can dry. If you're using paint, if you're using crayon, it doesn't really matter what order you go in. But so while I'm coloring this stuff is drying. So then, since this one's white, this one's black. Now I tell the kids, while I'm showing them things, just tell them, like, I'm scribbling because I'm going fast. So I don't want you to have to sit here and watch me for forever. So I'm scribbling, I'm not doing great coloring. But the better you color, the more realistic your picture is going to look. And you can do this however. I think when I was in middle school, we actually got to design like our own bedroom doing this. But I was in middle school. It was actually a lot harder than it looked. Or harder than this is too. Like I said, this is kind of for our older kids who want to do something and stuff. Or this could be for our younger kids when they work with their, maybe some help with their parents or an older sibling. Well, this marker, I need a new one. That's why I don't really like using markers very much, because they run out of ink very fast. And I know it's kind of hard to see, you know, what our picture is gonna end up looking like, but you can see it coming together a little more now. See, I'm scribbling. I don't like scribbling. Alright, so that is the floor. Looks kind of cool, right? Like you're standing there and you're going to walk, and you could almost walk down the hall. So now that I'm done with that, my watercolor is not dry yet, so I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to show you our next part. Okay, so it's all dry for the most part. So our next part is to draw our fish or our turtles or your shark, whatever you want to draw in your aquarium. So we're going to obviously draw that up in the blue part. So a thing to remember is that, remember when I said, so you look away, things get smaller. So like these triangles are smaller than these ones because you're standing like right here. This is you looking down a hallway. These little ones are smaller, and then as it gets closer to you, it gets bigger and bigger. So like your fish that are up here, or your turtles, are going to be bigger. And when you draw your fish in the back, they're going to be smaller. So I'm going to just draw a couple for you to kind of show you. And then I will show you just my finished result. So I'm going to use crayons. And so I want to draw a turtle. So I'm going to draw a circle, or oval, I should say. Here's his little tail and his legs. See how nice my crayon is going over my watercolor. That's why I like using it. And then his head. And I'm gonna decorate his shell. So I'm just gonna make the outline a little thicker. And I'm just gonna put like cool little designs in his shell. Drawing like little circles all over the inside. And then I'm gonna color them yellow. Like I said, I'm just coloring fast so you guys can get started on your project. So there's our turtle. He's nice and big right up front. Now I'm gonna draw, what should I draw? I should just draw another little fish. Okay, so I'm gonna draw a little purple fish back here. And so you can just draw an oval and then give it a triangle tail, and then a little fin, and a little fin. So there's that fish. Maybe draw another fish up here, so this one's going to be a little bigger. Just little fins. So there are my little fishies. I'm going to draw one. Maybe I'm going to draw a starfish down here and draw a star. Okay, so that's my one side. And then another cool thing I saw was that you can put like seaweed up here. So then I'm just gonna start here at my floor and draw some, sorry, there's a fly in my face. And draw some little seaweed up, squiggly lines. So remember, as they get closer back here, they're gonna get smaller. And up here, they're gonna be bigger. That's my dog. So when you get up here, it's gonna be squiggly. Bigger, thicker. So when you get up here, you can just draw like little lines. And then maybe I want to put like a rock. So here's going to be a rock at the bottom. Maybe another rock here. You know, do whatever you want to your aquarium. Okay, so I will show you the finished masterpiece when it's done. Hello guys, so this is my finished art picture. I got all my different animals I wanted in there, my shark and everything. So just remember, if it's far away, it's small. If it's up close, it is big. I hope you enjoyed it. I think it's an awesome thing for all of our kids, and you can design you could do a whole room if you wanted to. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you soon.